Well, good afternoon. I'd like to start today by sharing some really exciting news. I've been in touch with my friend, Quebec Premier François Legault, and he's agreed to lead a delegation of ministers to Ontario for the first ever Ontario-Quebec summit between our two governments. It will take place next Tuesday, September the 8th, and Wednesday, September the 9th. This summit is happening at a critical juncture in our history. As Canada's two largest economies and most populous provinces, relying on this significant relationship, relying on this strong partnership, will be more important than ever as we work to counter U.S. protectionism, as we work to get our economy back on track, and as we work together to move the country forward, because, my friends, I truly believe, I know, that with Ontario and Quebec working together, with our two great provinces coming together, two economic powerhouses collaborating on mutually beneficial economic priorities, we will be unstoppable. And I'm going to repeat that. We will be unstoppable. And these figures are staggering that I'm going to give you. In fact, in 2018, the joint GDP, gross domestic product, of Ontario and Quebec was a staggering $1.3 trillion. I'm going to repeat that, $1.3 trillion. Together, we are an economic juggernaut. Our two provinces working together can create the strongest economic union in North America. Those are big numbers. And in the next few weeks, Premier Legault will be taking over as chair of the Council of Federation. He'll be leading the Premier's table, and we need to support each other. We need to work together to advance our shared goals, and that's why we're coming together at this critical moment, ahead of the Council of Federation meeting in Quebec City on September the 24th, to discuss the issues that matter most to the people of our two provinces and the entire country. Economic recovery, addressing U.S. protectionism, health preparedness, trade and infrastructure, and many, many other shared priorities. What we say together will be important to the Prime Minister, to the federal government, to our partners south of the border, and to all Canadians. So I'm really looking forward to welcoming Premier Legault and his ministers to our province next week, because when it comes to getting our economy back on track, it's all hands on deck right now. And that's why we're here today. And it's great to be back in the beautiful city of Hamilton with my pal James and his team at the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 105, and the fine folks from the Ontario's building trades unions. They're doing absolutely everything, and they're working to support our young people and train more skilled workers for the jobs we need. And I'm so happy to be here with my Minister of Labour, Monte McNaughton, as well as my MPPs, Donna Skelly, Jane McKenna, and Will Beaumont. They're doing a terrific job delivering results for the people living right in this area. In fact, we're building 2 new schools for the Hamilton area, including 49 more childcare spaces. We added 19 more GO train trips a week and extended 25 existing trips on the Lakeshore West line to West Harbour GO Station. And we're providing $44.8 million through the federal Safe Restart Agreement to help the City of Hamilton continue to provide municipal services that people rely on each and every day. And as we work to build modern infrastructure across the province, we're desperately in need of more electricians, welders, carpenters, and construction workers to help get the job done. We need more skilled workers. And it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem we need to solve. And I know working with these folks, these guys are real champions. I love each and every one of them. That's why I'm proud to announce today our government is investing $37 million to provide skills training over 15,000 people to help them upgrade their skills or pursue a new career. This is $37 million to help training providers like IBEW, like Leuna, and the members of the Ontario's building trades unions, as well as Ontario's colleges, universities, and employers. provide young people, job seekers, and our veterans with hands-on training for in-demand skills. And in most cases, that training will be at no charge. These kinds of investments in people and talent are absolutely critical as we work together to get our economy firing on all cylinders once again. So I want to thank Minister McNaughton, James, and all of our labor, academic, and business partners for stepping up to offer these important training programs. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister McNaughton.
Well, thank you very much, Premier, and I want to thank Steve from the local IBEW and everyone at the Trades Council for hosting us here today. I'm delighted to be here with the Premier, the Parliamentary Assistants, Skelly, Bauma, and of course, our great Parliamentary Assistant at Labour, Jane McKenna. A few years ago, it would have been hard to imagine a scene like this, with dozens of Labour leaders representing hundreds of thousands of workers standing shoulder to shoulder with a Conservative Premier and Labour Minister, and yet here we are today. I want you to know there's a reason for this. It's because we're working together to make workplaces safer and to ensure good, meaningful jobs are being created. We're moving forward in a spirit of cooperation for the good of everyone, and it takes two to tango. So thank you to the provincial building trades, to LIUNA, to the painters, the carpenters, the drywallers, the electricians, the iron workers, the insulators, the form workers, the plumbers, the sprinkler fitters, and the boiler makers, to the workers who are building Ontario up. The $37 million we're announcing today will help 15,000 people gain the skills they need to find good jobs or to retrain for a new career. And that includes $450,000 to bring more women into the trades, because these jobs are meaningful and well-paying, but too often they go to men. We need to change that. Before I go, I want to acknowledge the death of a local worker yesterday. One death in the job is one too many for me, and I want to express my condolences to this worker's family, friends, and colleagues. I'll be thinking of him and so many others this weekend as we commemorate Labor Day, the partnerships we forged, and the work we have left to do. Thank you. Steve, over to you.
Thank you, Minister. On behalf of my executive and membership, I would like to thank Premier Doug Ford and the other MPPs for taking the time to tour our facility and to speak with our dedicated and passionate apprentices and journey persons. We truly appreciate your interest in the electrical trade and the importance of comprehensive training to ensure both worker and public safety. It's wonderful to see these programs and investments to make people across the province aware of the opportunities available in the trades. The Ontario Building and Construction Tradeswomen Project will bring more women into the trades through sessions for trainers on leadership, mentoring, and how to recruit more women into the trades. It's something we're particularly proud of. I'd also like to thank your government for the investments it's made in the construction industry, helping to ensure Ontario has the critical infrastructure it needs to maintain and build our economy. As business manager, I can tell you that our industry, like others, didn't exactly have a playbook on how to deal with COVID-19. But even during the height of the pandemic, our industry persevered, ensuring essential services were maintained safely and professionally. The IBEW electrical workers and our contracting partners will continue to be here for our communities. And we look forward to working with you and your government to ensure Ontario not only recovers, but grows stronger. I'll turn things over now to Parliamentary Assistant Jane McKenna. Thanks again.
As the Parliamentary Assistant for Labour, Training and Skills Development and the MPP for Burlington, it is an honour to join today's exciting announcement on new investment in skills training for 15,000 Ontarians. Our government values the workers and businesses that help build Ontario. We know the demand for skilled workers is on the rise. That's why it's all hands on deck with our training providers, including labour unions, employees, colleges and universities. We all have a role to play. By providing opportunities for thousands of people to upgrade their skills and train for new jobs, we're making it easier to build a rewarding and life-changing career in the skilled trades. I am very proud to support the Premier and Minister McNaughton in this important work to promote the skilled trades and attract more young and talented people to these vital professions. I look forward to continuing to advance this key priority in the months ahead as we continue to implement Ontario's plan for recovery. Now I'd like to invite my colleague and my friend, MPP Donna Skelly, to say a few words. Thank you.
I want to thank the Premier and Minister McNaughton for coming today to make this very important announcement. And it's always a pleasure to see my colleague, MPP Jane McKenna. As MPP for Flamborough-Glanbrook, it's exciting to hear about these investments that will make a difference in the lives of young people and job seekers in my riding in the Hamilton area and right across Ontario. And I'd like to thank Ontario's building trades unions for all their hard work to make these training programs available during these extraordinary times. It will be a key component of our province's economic recovery. Thank you all for coming.
We'll go to the phone line for...
Great. Actually, before we go to the phone, there's some great gals over there. Can you come over here for a minute? Don't be shy. This is what I mean when, you know, we're promoting women in trades, and there are two journey men that, they're going to change that, by the way, journeymen. But anyways, these folks, come on in here. Don't be shy. So two are training and two are experts and just doing an incredible job. You know, as I always say, folks, I'm a little biased when it comes to this, living in a household with 5 women, and I always tell my girls, I tell my girls, just keep going, you can do anything, man. Matter of fact, you can do it better, go out there and kick some guy's butt, and way to go. So thank you very much for the training. You guys are amazing. That's great. And I always mention, once you have a trade, you have it for life. Yeah. You can always move around, you can be the entrepreneur, you can do anything once you have the trade. And I think they were showing me how to connect the light switch and make sure I don't electrocute myself, but I said I always leave it to train professional electricians. I stay away from electrical stuff. So ladies, thank you so much. You have a great weekend and stay safe. Thank you. You guys are the best. Okay.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up, please.
I see Joseph over there and my buddy Patrick Dillon. Way to go, guys. How are you doing? And Anthony? Talk about champions. These guys are champions over there.
Okay. First question.
First question comes from Randy Rath from Stage TV. Please go ahead.
Hey, Randy.
Hi, Premier. Welcome to Hamilton.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me by here. This is great. Love the people up here.
Anyhow, Sam Hammond this morning told me that it is the individual teacher's decision whether or not they think that their workplace is unsafe, and that they have to make the decision whether or not they should refuse work. Mm-hmm. Are you worried about the possibility of teachers coming into the classroom thinking there's not enough social distancing, and then using their right to refuse unsafe work to walk away?
Yeah, well, I have all the confidence in all the principals and teachers going back to school. They're going to be the backbone of this program, and everything I've heard from all our MPPs across the province and what I've seen personally, they're doing a great job. What the number one thing I hear is they're excited to have the kids back. I just spoke to another teacher earlier today as well. The same thing. They're excited to see the kids and have all the confidence in the world in our teachers and the great job they're doing along with the principals.
Follow up.
Nevertheless, there is the eventuality that this could happen. Are you prepared to use the power of the legislature to stop anything like that?
I just want to work with them. I honestly, Randy, I just don't. This isn't the time to argue or disagree and fight with someone. Let's just all work together. We get through it, and you know, everyone stepped up. Everyone has stepped up in situations that are probably 1,000 times worse in a scenario. So I have confidence they're going to do everything they can. We've thrown everything we possibly can at the reopening of the schools. $1.6 billion, 625 nurses, 1,300 more cleaners. you know, 170 million in total to hire more staff if they need it. So, and that's just a fraction. I could run through it all, but you know, we've thrown everything we can, and we're cooperating with all the groups. So I just look forward to the schools opening and the kids going back safely, and the teachers have a safe environment to teach in.
Next question.
Next question comes from Michelle McQuigg from Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Premier. A quick question for you. Also, with an event that Randy referenced earlier this morning, Andrea Horvath has been calling for the reinstatement of some of the sick days that were stripped out during past legislative changes. She's arguing that this is in accordance with public health advice that urges people to stay home if they are unwell or if they suspect that they might have COVID-19. As things gear up and the school goes back into session, is that a proposal that you're willing to consider?
Well, you know something, again, I want to emphasize, I think the world of our teachers, I truly believe they're fairly compensated, and I wish them all the best. I'll help them any way I can, and you know, I think it's fair to say that they get 131 sick days, 120 days at 90%, and 11 days at 100%. But they're doing a great job. I'll put it this way. I could not do what the teachers do. I couldn't do it. Some people are cut out for it, others aren't. They're incredible. And man, I have all the faith in the world. They're going to do an incredible job and get our kids through this year's school year. And I truly believe in them.
Follow up.
On that note, focusing on teachers, it has to do with the issue of collapsing classes again. I know you spoke to it earlier this week and you were still getting some information on what was happening. We're hearing more about that. We're hearing that it is happening fairly broadly, and that there are sometimes even schools where there are some classes where there's half the capacity of students, and yet classes have been collapsed and you have upwards of almost 30 students in a room. Is that satisfactory to you, or would you be willing to offer some directives to boards to space kids out more evenly, if that was possible?
Sure, the money's there if they need to space them out, even in some cases. What I understand, in the largest school board, TDSB, all the schools have enough space except 5 of them. So that's pretty good considering the size of the TDSB, and we'll help them out. We had a good conversation with the director and gave suggestions and said we'll be there for you if you need our help. If you need to transfer any kids into other areas, we'll be there to support them. But all schools have enough space. There's 5 schools I was told this morning that are pretty tight, but they'll be there. All the plans are in. We're ready. We're ready. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be bumps. There will be bumps in the road as sure as I'm standing here. But again, I have the confidence in the system, the teachers, the principals, and the school boards. Everyone's pulling in the same direction now.
Next question.
Next question comes from Katrina Clark from the Hamilton Spectator. Please go ahead.
Hi, Katrina.
Hi, thanks for taking my question.
Thank you.
Now my question, I'm wondering, we've spoken with a nurse who worked at the Roslyn Retirement Residence, which was evacuated during a COVID outbreak in May. 16 residents died. The nurse spoke out about alleged negligence at the home, and the Roslyn's license was later stripped, but the woman was then fired by the temp agency that hired her. So this person is a whistleblower who stepped up to help our community in the early stages of the pandemic, and then she was punished for it. What is your government doing to strengthen whistleblower protections?
Well, there's a law, whistleblower protection law, that they can't just get rid of someone like that. They have to be protected, and all she was doing is doing her job. If she saw a problem, good for her. I congratulate her. And by the way, we took the license off that long-term care home. So at the end of the day, they aren't operating any longer. But by all means, she shouldn't have lost her job. And there's plenty of work out there in long-term care. So by all means, if she needs to find a place to find employment, we'll find her a place in about a heartbeat, because we're in desperate need. And we're in desperate need of more nurses too, to go back to school in other areas. And I said yesterday, the PSWs, they're incredible people, underpaid, overworked. But I heard the head of the union. I agree with her. Stop talking and let's start getting action. So moving forward with the Ministry of Health and the Treasury, we can't delay this. They deserve more money. That's the bottom line. And I am going to act on it immediately.
Follow up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering, what is your reaction to the proposal from LiUNA to build the LRT line for $3.5 billion using a mix of public and private cash?
Yep.
And is the proposal being looked at by your government's transportation task force? And does it change your government's interest in the LRT project?
Well, I had a great meeting with Mayor Eisenberger, and we've agreed that we're going to work together. And, you know, I love LiUNA. I've said it over and over again. There's something special about Joseph, that he thinks outside the box. He really does. He's blazing a new trail, and I always say everyone should take a page out of their book on how to do public-private partnerships, to work together, and that's what we're doing. And the mayor and I agreed we're going to do everything we can to get this moving forward, to listen to the task force and help them out any way we can. Even if we get some of it going, we have $1 billion. Here's a shout out for the federal government. For the federal government, we need your help. We need you at the table. And I know they want to, but they haven't showed up at the door yet. So once we get the support of the federal government, the provincial government, and public-private partnerships through LiUNA, we can get it going. And as the mayor and I said, even if we can move it a little bit, get half, get 2/3, get anything going, we can add on to it. But the critical thing is get the shovels in the ground. And my theory in life is there's always a way to make things happen. They may not happen overnight, but the money's sitting there. And so, my friend, Deputy Prime Minister, you've always supported us, but the people of Hamilton need your support.
Next question.
Thank you.
Next question comes from Haley Cooper from News Talk 1010. Please go ahead.
Hey, Haley.
Thank you. Hi, Premier.
How you doing?
The CNE is casting doubt over its future after canceling this year's fair resulted in a $6 million loss, and it's now calling on governments for financial help. So we all know money is tight right now, but is there some cash the province will earmark for the CNE, and if so, what is that preliminary figure?
I think that would probably fall under the Minister of Tourism, but you know, that's been around for over 100 and some odd years, and everyone's gone to the CNE. I'm willing to help out. If the city's willing to help out and we get the feds to help out, we can all pitch in, because it's critical we keep the CNE going. Every single one of us, old guys like myself, you know, remember going down to the CNE with $5, $10. I'm really aging myself now, but $5 or $10, and you'd be down there all day. And I'll never forget, you get that 25-cent spaghetti. So my buddy over at Primo, which are good pals, you've got to get back to that dollar spaghetti again or something. And the double bubble gum in the food court. So it was fun, and we need to help it. It's something that we can't let go of the history of the CNE. So
Follow up.
Thank you. And my follow-up, there are growing concerns throughout the taxi industry about insurance rates. So most insurance companies that are approved to provide commercial insurance for taxi cabs have withdrawn from the industry. So only 2 remain, and they're not accepting any new business. By the end of this year, only one of those will remain, forcing taxi-owned drivers onto a facility at a cost of $15,000 to $20,000 per year. That's compared to about $6,000 a year. So the industry is calling for an amendment to Regulation 664 to include taxis in lost transfer with all other vehicles. Will your government do that? And if not, why? And what will your government do to protect this industry from paying that tens of thousands of dollars per year?
Well, myself and my brother Rob have a very close relationship with the taxi industry for a long time, and I'm going to support these people. These people got devastated. They're trying to. Some of these people paid $200,000-300,000 for their license. Now it's next to nothing, and I got to help these people. They have to put food on their table. So I'm going to talk to the Minister of Finance, and we'll make sure we correct this. And the insurance companies, you got to give these guys a break. You know, what drives me nuts, and I'm not saying they're doing this, but you got to be fair to everyone. A lot of these insurance companies are making big bucks over the years. Now it's time to give back, and a lot of them have stepped up. But we'll be on to them. Don't worry. I'm all over this one.
Last question.
Last question comes from Cynthia Mulligan at City News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi there, Premier.
Hi.
My first question today is for my colleague Tina Yagdani.
She is asking me to ask you about Dr. Fauci in the U.S. is warning Americans that Labor Day weekend is key in the fight against COVID this fall. What do you have to say about that? Are you concerned that people won't be safe and socially distanced and that it could contribute to more COVID cases after this Labor Day?
Yeah, Cynthia, it's a good point. But again, if we just practice the golden rules, so social distance, wearing a face mask, washing your hands, we just have to follow those rules and follow the chief medical officer's protocols and guidelines, and we'll be better off. But just please, don't be out there going to these big parties. I know the chief medical officer of Peel was concerned that he was going around and there's a lot of big parties in the backyards and no face masks. It's critical that we do it. We had 44 cases in Peel alone, over 30% of the whole province. So folks in Peel, you can't be out there having tons of people over, no face masks, because it just spreads right across the board there.
Follow up.
Thank you. And my next question is about ODSP. Yesterday, I did a big story examining it, and the numbers are quite concerning. In the last 25 years, payments in ODSP have only increased by $239. That's only 65 cents a day. People are trying to survive on $1,169 a month. Sometimes, yes, they get food subsidies, but it's not enough. And, there's one man who has $2 a day to eat. Some people are so desperate that they're exploring assisted dying because they say they can't afford to live. Is there a stigma against people with disabilities? This has been going on for more than 2 decades. And is your government willing to examine this and try and change this and make life easier for people with disabilities?
Well, absolutely. We all have to support. I always believe is we always have to support the people that are unable to support themselves. And I asked the Minister of Social Services, once you deduct CERB and so on, so forth, the whole formula, I think the people ended up with a couple $100 more. I know it's not much, but we do have to be there to support them. And then they have another program for people that are working part-time and collecting ODSP that they can earn up to, I think it was over $2,000, $2,200 approximately. But there are people that just physically can't take care of themselves. Those are the people we should be taking care of, and we will. So I'll make sure I have that in-depth discussion with the minister. It's very, very important we take care of people that can't take care of themselves. But the people that are able to work, not on ODSP, anyone, once these jobs come back, we expect you to work. That's simple as that. If there's jobs out there, work. If you're healthy, work, because you contribute back to society.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.